We're going to start day 2 of circumference at the bottom here of the day 1 notes. This last statement at the bottom goes along with today's notes. So it says, circles that lie on the same plane with the same center are called concentric circles. Draw a picture so it just looks like this. Think of like a target sign or a dartboard, something like that. So then what will be linked for today's notes is this page, and we see the concentric circles here. You see that circle within a circle in this picture. And so this is just kind of more of like a real life problem that goes along with using circumference, and then we'll see more problems like what we did yesterday, these 4 down here. And so we're just going to do these 5 problems today in the notes. A car has a turning radius of 16.1 feet. The distance between the 2 front tires is 4.7 feet. In completing the outer turning circle, how much farther does a tire travel than a tire on the concentric inner circle? Now, rarely do any of us travel just in a circle in our car, but what this example is going to show us is the reason we rotate tires. So if we did just continually travel the exact same pattern constantly, we're going to be turning in the same way all the time. And so the tires that are going to be on the outside, whether it's these 2 driver side tires or the 2 passenger side tires, if you're turning this way, are going to get more wear. And we're going to see that because that circumference of that circle is bigger than the circumference of this circle. So we want to find circumference of both of these. We can see we have a radius here. So we're going to use circumference equals 2 times pi times the radius. So I'm going to do the big circle first. So the big circle first. So circumference equals 2 times pi times the radius, which is this 16.1. So that circumference, 16.1 times 2 is 32.2 pi. I'm going to leave it exact for right now. Pi feet. So that's the big circle. When I go over to the small circle to find circumference, still using 2 times pi times radius, 2 times pi. The radius of the small circle is just this right here. That's not 16.1. That's whatever that 16.1 is minus that. We don't want this 4.7. This 4.7. So we're going to take 16.1 minus 4.7 to get 11.4. So I just did 16.1 minus 4.7 to get 11.4. So that radius, so we can see I can draw it somewhere else so it's not part of all of those lines, is 11.4. So now I'm going to do 2 times 11.4. And my circumference is 22.8 pi feet. So the question's asking how much farther does a tire travel on the outer concentric circle than on the inner concentric circle. So I have these 2, and that's where that subtraction comes in again, because I want to know the difference of that between them. I want to know how much farther this outer one is traveling. So I'm going to take 32.2 pi and subtract 22.8 pi. And I can subtract those because those are like terms. They both have pi in them. It's like if I subtract 4x from 2x. If they both have x in them, they're the same. These both have pi in them. So I'm going to do 32.2 minus 22.8 and get 9.4 pi. But this is a real life problem, and 9.4 pi is not a real life answer. So then I'm going to go ahead and say 9.4 times 3.14 to tell me that really those 2 outer tires are traveling 29.5 feet more every time they go around the circle. Okay, So down here, we're going to find the exact answer. So here we found exact and then approximate, and these two we're just finding exact. So circumference equals, this is a radius, so 2 times pi times radius. So circumference equals 2 times pi times 11. I'm going to multiply the 2 and the 11 to get 22 pi. So remember, that's exact. It has pi in the answer. I have a label of feet, so 22 pi feet. If I look over here, the formula I'm going to use is circumference equals 2, nope, not 2, pi times diameter, because that's a diameter, so I don't want a 2. I just want pi times diameter. So circumference equals pi times 4, but we don't leave it like that. Even though that is exact, we want the 4 in front of the pi, just like we'd say 4x. We say circumference equals 4 pi, and this one has a unit of meters, and that's its exact answer. So really, exact answers are often easier because you don't have to type anything into your calculator a lot of times. And then the two approximate problems, where we will use our calculator. This is diameter, because it goes all the way across the circle. So circumference equals pi times diameter. So circumference equals pi times 5. So I don't have to flip them in this one. I don't have to say that circumference equals 5 pi because I'm going to multiply them. I can say 3.14 for pi times 5 and get 15.7. 15.7 meters. Here's radius. So circumference equals 2 times pi times r. It's radius because it goes from the center to a point on the circle, not all the way across. So circumference equals 2 times pi times 6.3. So again, I don't have to, if I multiply that 2 times 6.3, I get 12.6 pi. I don't have to write 12.6 pi. I can just multiply all these together. So what you guys would probably do is 2 and just multiply in order times 3.14 times 6.3. That would be the most common thing to do. Okay, equals, and I'm just going to say 39.6, that 6 is going to make the 5 round up, so circumference equals 39.6 meters. And actually, I wasn't looking, it does say round to the nearest tenth, and so we did here, and we did there. Nearest tenth is just one decimal point, or one number after the decimal point. So your homework is going to look very much like it did yesterday. All your problems will have a radius instead of a diameter though, and you'll answer in exact answers like we did here with pi in the answer. That way everybody comes up with the same answer, and like for this one, some people might say 39.6, some people might accidentally say 39.5 and not round correctly, some people might put this whole answer down, so we could all have different looking answers, but when it's exact, every answer should look the same.